fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today to do my weekly WIP and chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is currently mine. I have been working on so many big projects lately that I have nothing completed and it's driving me bananas. So I decided last night that I would just pull out a partial, something that I can complete fairly quickly and I can call it done. Not that I'm not working on my other projects, but I normally work one project at a time. And I currently have my Vibrant Italy, which I'm doing for the Chuck-along. I currently have my Dreamer Designs, which I'm doing for my Big 10. I currently have 3 open paintings hanging here in my office / craft room. One is my Muka one from Diamond Painting Shop. One is a kind of gothic looking mosaic from Fan Sales, and the other one is a TSA that I have opened. And then I have my Huacan Flamingo open. I have my 3 Heaven and Earth canvases that I unboxed that are currently hanging up downstairs because that's where I had room for them. So that's how many? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, and I have my hot air balloon stained glass one I'm still working on, so that's 10. I open up this one, this is 11. Yeah, I'm certifiably insane. I have never had that many paintings open at once. And because they're kind of hanging around and staring me in the face, it is driving me crazy that I'm not working on them. So I am off for spring break, and my plan is to, well, I want to accomplish 2 things. Finish our paperwork for our move to Canada and get some diamond paintings done. I'm really hoping that I can make a huge amount of progress on my Pinson for the Chuck-along, if not finish it this week. And if I can manage to do that, then I can move back over to my Dreamer Designs, begin working on that, and maybe in between there, I will finish up my hot air balloon because it's not very big. It's only like a 30 by 40, I think. So, but in the meantime, I wanted to finish something. So I did all of the special drills on this one yesterday. So all of the special drills have been put on. So I'm down to nothing but the rhinestones, the crystal drills, and some iridescent white. So that's where I'm going to start. I have a tray, except of course I forgot a pen. So hang on one second while I go get a pen. Okay, I've grabbed a couple of pens. I'm going to start my timer. And let's see, what do I want to start with? I think I'm going to start with number 5. And they are down here. So let me turn this a little bit, and then I will zoom you guys in so you can see what I'm doing. And I think that's pretty good. Okay, so let me pull this back because you're probably getting weird reflections off of the cover paper. And yeah, I think that's good right there. Okay, so let me dump some drills in and I will get started. You guys, it's been a crazy week weather-wise. Not going to be my favorite weekend because it's daylight savings time, and I dislike intensely daylight savings time. Over and over and over, it has been shown that it does not actually serve the purpose that it was created for, so why do we keep doing it? My internal body clock gets so thrown out of whack every time we have to change. It's like, just pick one. Pick one and stick with it. You know, we're kind of a global economy these days, so People keep all kinds of weird hours. It doesn't save electricity, which was the whole point. So what is the point anymore? It's like, you know, those old laws where it's illegal to spit on the sidewalk or whatever, you know, a law that came around in the 1800s that are just never bothered to be taken off the books. So it's just kind of crazy. I really like these iridescent ones. They're pretty. But I mean, who doesn't like ABs, right? Duh. Okay. I'm going to be having to do a lot of repositioning here, so forgive me if my camera is a little strange. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just do all the 5s I can reach here, and then I'll switch over to another color. Typically when I do these partials like this, I will just do this. These are one of the few canvases where I do all of one color. Because generally, you know, you're talking about like all these weirdly shaped special drills. And so I feel like I fill up the canvas faster if I do all of those drills at once. And then I go back in and fill in the ones that are all kind of the regular size drills, the rhinestones or the ABs or whatever I've got. So, but I'll do it a little bit differently so I don't have to move the camera around too much. So, how is everyone doing? I hope you guys are all having fun diamond painting and working on stuff. Is anybody going anywhere for spring break? I wish we were, but we're not. We're hoping to go visit his family in Canada this summer. So we'll see how that goes. My husband doesn't stop injuring himself. We may go sooner than that. So I don't know how long it's been since, well, he had his hernia surgery earlier this year. And then he fell and he injured his ankle. We did end up going to get that x-rayed, and he basically has a hairline fracture that they don't want to do anything for because it's just money that isn't really going to help. It just needs to heal by itself. So he's been trying various inserts and things like that to try and get it to heal. No luck so far. It's still bothering him, but... And then the other day, like last week or the week before, he was lifting something and pulled too hard or wrong, and now has injured his shoulder. So they've been trying to let him, you know, do basically kind of light duty work at work. But it's still bothering him. So they didn't work on Thursday because it was too cold. So he stayed home Friday to give himself a 4-day weekend to see if he could let it rest up. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm still doing better. I'm starting to be able to go up and down stairs like a normal person using both my legs and alternating instead of having to do that old person step down, then bring your other foot, step down, then bring your other foot, which is so annoying. So it's still pretty tight. I need to get back on my elliptical. My son and I have started going for short walks. So I'm still slow. We're having to build back up to it, but I'm back to feeling almost normal again, which is amazing. I still haven't figured out if it's the gluten or the sugar in my diet that's causing the problem. I'm leaning more towards, at this point, sugar. So I'm trying to limit it as much as I can because it is nearly impossible to cut all sugar out of your diet. And luckily for me, I know what a lot of the options are because my husband is diabetic, so we have lots of sugar-free things, etc. And I'm going to try later making some banana bread with our sugar substitute. We'll see how that goes. I've made cookies with it, but we didn't have any brown sugar substitute, so I used pretty much everything regularly except for the sugar substitute. They were okay. They weren't great, but you know, what is, right? My husband keeps telling me once I get the sugar out of my system, then the sugar-free stuff won't taste so weird to me. I'm still never going to be where he is. Some of the chemicals that they use, sucralose and other things that they use to as sugar substitutes, just the chemical aftertaste is too much for me. But if I got to give up sugar for my knee to feel better, man, that's the sacrifice I'm willing to make, because that has just been such, I mean, I feel like I can't do anything. And I had lost quite a bit of weight last year, and I've put more than I would like of it back on because I've not been able to go out and do the things that we were doing before. And so, yeah. So that's kind of my home life update. Work is going good, going great this week because I'm going to be off for spring break. So that's amazing. And the people who are going to be taking over my job are taking a bunch of online classes. Man, they're really cranking them out too. I can't believe how enthusiastic they are. I mean, one of them has already taken 2 classes and is going to be taking 3 more in the next month and a half. I mean, they're not huge. They're not college classes or anything like that. But I mean, they still take time. And she has 4 kids, so she has lots of things going on besides work. I need to take some of those myself. We have to have so many hours of continuing education every year. And we were informed this year that the way we'd been keeping track of it was incorrect. And so a bunch of the classes that I took over the summer, thinking that they would count for this year, actually don't, which was really frustrating. So I'm probably going to end up taking some classes either in the next couple of months or over the summer. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm amazed at how quickly the year seems to have gone. So, because we've doing the lesson planning, we've now have 1 week of April left to plan, and then we're on to planning in March, and there's only 3, or May, and there's only 3 weeks in May. So that's kind of exciting. And one of those weeks in May, it's not even a full week. Our last week of preschool, we only have 2 days. And those 2 days we take the kids to the local park and we have a picnic. And there's all kinds of stuff. There's a big playground that they can play on all the equipment. There's a basketball court with where we set up tricycles and things for them to ride on. We get out bubbles so they can play with bubbles. There's like a little water park next to the playground. If the water is on, they can go play in that. And parents come and we all have picnics in the gazebo for lunch. And then everybody goes home with mom and dad. So it's usually way too hot and everybody gets sweaty, but the kids have a good time. So that's usually what we do. Okay, I think I'm going to switch over to number 2. But let me check and see if I need to move this canvas. Oh no, you guys can still see. Okay. So I'm going to switch over to, well, let me finish up this one. You can still see that one. And then I'll switch over to number 2 and I'll finish up that one. So anyway, so yeah, and it seems crazy to think that the school year is almost done. I mean, really, once we get back from spring break, we have 8 weeks left, and that's it. So that seems kind of crazy to me. And my daughter moved out. She's doing great in her apartment. It drives me crazy every time I go over there because I want to clean. So I'm having a really hard time stepping back from some stuff like that. We did go over there this weekend and helped her hang up some pictures and things. Just, kind of, I always tell my husband, he's always, why do you got to hang pictures? Because that's what makes it look homey. Like, I don't know if that's a man thing, but I mean, that's what I think of when, like, walls are bare. It's like you're not planning on staying. I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense. Is that just me? Is it a female thing? Is that just that's how my mom works, so that's how I work? I don't know. But that's one of the first things I always want to do when I move in someplace is hang stuff on the wall because that makes it feel homey to me. And it doesn't have to be a lot of stuff, just some stuff. So, although I told my husband after moving her and basically just moving the stuff in her room, I mean, we bought her a few things. We bought her a new mattress, but it's one of those that came, rolled up in a box, so it wasn't hard to transport or anything. And we bought her a futon. That's what she wanted instead of taking one of our couches. And, some little things like we bought her a microwave and some household goods, but not a lot. But it just didn't feel like she was moved in until she had some of her stuff on the walls. So she feels better about it too. So I don't know if that's something I've passed on, that she feels like you have to hang stuff on the walls in order for it to kind of be homey. And I'm still really struggling with, I'm worried about her financial situation. I mean, she's in a much better place than most kids her age, but, I worry. She has a car right now, but what about when the car breaks down, when it needs replaced, all that kind of stuff? And I'm probably a helicopter parent in that respect, which I try not to be, and then I worry, what if those things happen when we're not here, when we're in Canada? And I mean, I still have family here and they would help her if she needed them to, but there's just that, oh, she's my kid, she's my responsibility, even though she's plenty old enough to be taking care of herself. So, yeah, just really struggling with, because she's my first that's moved out, I guess. I mean, I would worry about my other one as well, but I don't have to because he's going with us, so we'll see. Maybe I can convince her at some point to move up there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. I'm going to do number 2 now. Whoops. I'm spilling these everywhere today. These are a little bit staticky. Okay. Where's number 2s? Oh, I have quite a few over here, so I could probably do some more number 5s before I've got to move the camera too, but anyway, I didn't even wait to press this canvas or anything. You can see it's still got some creases and things in it. I don't care. I just wanted to get something finished. My husband thinks I'm nuts, but I'm like, I can't call anything finished. I'm working on all these big projects. And for most people would probably just be like, okay, I'm going to double down on these big projects and get them done. Not me. I'm like, I'm going to pull out something small and do that first. So, and this wasn't even the smallest one that I had, but it's a partial, which I knew I would be able to finish fairly easily in just a couple of hours. It took me less than an hour yesterday to get all of the special drills put on. So I know these will take me a little bit more, but 2 or 3 hours out of the 100 I'm probably going to put in on some of my other projects is, I'd rather have the finish at this point. So that's what I'm doing. And then I can mark it as a finish. Plus I have so many kits stacked up to be sent out in my random acts of kindness, you guys. Okay, speaking of random acts of kindness, one, if you would like to receive a random act of kindness and you haven't already, check the description box below. There is always a link in my videos to a form that you can fill out. It's a Google form to get a bit of Happy Mail or a random act of kindness. And just enter your information in the form. If you're in the US, I need your address, including city, state, zip. And if you're not in the US, I need your full and complete mailing address. I know the last time I went in to check to mail out some random acts of kindness, there were several people that had put in addresses, but they were not complete. If you live outside the US, I need your postal code, city, country, if you have a province or a state or whatever they call them where you live, and basically everything I need to mail it to you, because if I don't have those, then I can't send you anything. So I did have my giveaway for a couple of pieces of storage for international folks. So those have been mailed out. Thank you to everyone who participated. However, I'm really trying to decide how I want to approach this in the future. So let me say, first of all, I am still going to do an international giveaway for the Harbor Freights. So those of you who've been waiting for that, I promise I'm going to do that. I don't know when yet, but I am going to do it. However, here's my thing. And this was the same issue with the two that I just mailed out. So I can get a package of Harbor Freights here in the US, get one of the 25 container, well, it's 24 containers plus the big container that holds them all, for roughly $5, $6, right? And I know Harbor Freight is not available outside the US. So everyone wants to try them. Now, here's my 2 cents as someone who's in the US and has access to them, so keep that in mind. I don't think they're all that great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, don't get me wrong, but they are by no means my favorite type of storage. They're inexpensive for me, so that part is nice. They do hold a lot, love that, especially if you work on a lot of big canvases. But I just don't personally like the way they work. Things get stuck in the lids, which I don't like. So then when you open it, stuff falls out sometimes. Don't like that. And the way that they need to sit for me, I end up stacking them on top of each other, which I don't like doing. So don't like that. And so, yeah, they're just not my favorite. I don't like the way the little tab that holds the lid shut, I don't like the way it sits. Just not one of my favorite things. Now, I'm not saying other people are wrong for liking them. I'm just saying I don't personally like them. And, my husband and I were talking about this yesterday, and we were talking about the fact that everyone who can't get them is so anxious to try them. And my feeling is, personally, I don't think they're that great, so I don't understand why everyone wants to try them. But I do understand that if it was something I couldn't get, like if it was something that was not shipped to the United States, I'd probably be anxious to get my hands on some too. So all that to say that yes, I will still be giving those away. However, after those, I don't know that I'm actually going to be mailing anything out anymore for international giveaways. I still want to do giveaways to include international folks. However, shipping is nuts and doesn't look to be changing anytime soon. So, for instance, when I went to go mail the last two pieces of storage that I did the international giveaway for, which was a box of Tic Tac containers and the Star Roar. And one went to the EU and one went to Africa. Each of those items, well, the Star Roar, I think, was about 20 bucks. The Tic Tac container, I want to say, was like 10 or 15. The shipping for each package, just the shipping, was $25, $26, which is insane. I mean, I'm paying more than the cost of the item to ship it, which is crazy. And again, I'm going to do the Harbor Freight because I know lots of people who are international can't get their hands on it easily. But after that, I think what I'm probably going to end up doing is offering international folks, rather than an actual physical item, it's going to end up being a gift card or something to a diamond painting company. And here's why. Because if I'm going to spend $25, $30 to ship something, I would rather spend that $25, $30 and let you get something that you want, and you get the benefit of that entire $30 rather than I'm spending $5 on something for you and then spending the other $25 on shipping, because that's crazy, frankly. And I mean, I've even gone and I've signed up. I've got an account now with a shipping place so that I can get, have access to some discounts on shipping and things. But international is just crazy. And there's so many rules and everything. And yeah, I'm just like, you know what? Again, if I'm going to spend 30 bucks, I'd rather the person that I'm sending the whatever to get the benefit of that entire 30 bucks rather than here's $5 worth of something and I had to spend the other 25 on shipping. So, yeah. I mean, I'm hopeful, or I hope that, if you're an international person, you follow international diamond painters, because if I lived somewhere besides the US, I would hope that shipping would not be as crazy, but maybe it would be. I mean, what is that like? If I go, when we move to Canada, then I can ship to all those places in Canada, I'm assuming, for less. But does that make it any easier to ship anywhere else? I should ask my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law actually works for Canada Post, and see what he has to say about it. But yeah, I'd be interested to hear. How do the rest of you, folks who are not in the US, you international folks, what's shipping like in your country? What's it like to ship something within the EU? What's it like to ship something from the EU to the US? Are our shipping prices sending to us here insane as well? I mean, it just seems crazy that I could ship something to, I mean, I'm in Kansas, so I'm in the middle of the US, but you could ship something theoretically from California to New York for $5. But if I want to just cross the border into Canada, like I was in California and I shipped it to British Columbia, suddenly, even though the distance is way less, it costs 40 times more. That seems crazy. So, and I know it has to do with, duties and customs and crossing borders and things like that, but man, why has everything got to be so expensive, folks? I mean, I get it. It just sucks, you know? So when I do my 2 events that I'm planning on doing, I had intended to have prize packages for, well, I'm going to have prize packages. But the downer part of that for me is that if the winner ends up being someone international, I will most likely just be giving them a gift card to a diamond painting company and letting it go at that. And rather than sending them the actual physical items, I mean, I suppose I could ask them to pay shipping, but that seems kind of, I don't know. I just don't like doing that. But I guess I could ask you international folks. I mean, if the package is worth it, would you be willing to pay shipping? I just kind of don't like doing that. So, but I mean, if I was going to do that, I would certainly make sure that, you know, the package was, or does the fact that the package would be free make up for the fact that you would have to pay shipping? I mean, I'm still working on it, but I'm going to be trying to make them, you know, pretty nice prize packages. It's not just going to be one thing that is the prize. At least that's not my intention. My intention is that I will have, you know, a variety of things, and that will constitute the prize, but there will be several items within that prize package. Does that make sense? So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're an international folk, what you think about that. So I'm trying to see here. I'm kind of done with this little section right here. So I'm trying to see where I need to move this to kind of work some more without having to move this a lot. Let's see if I can move it this way so I can have access to some more of this so that I don't have to continue to move it. Let's see. So I can do this flower and all of this up here. Yeah, you guys can see up about there. Okay, so that should be good. And again, like I said, I didn't even wait for all of the creases to get all the way out of it because I'm too impatient. So let's see. Where am I at on time? Okay. All right. So end rant on postage and shipping and all of that. So yeah, again, if you're an international folk, let me know in the comments below how you feel about being asked to pay shipping for a prize package. I'm just kind of a go with the flow. I mean, I personally wouldn't mind it, but I know not everybody is in the same financial situation. So I would rather do what the majority of people want. So, you know, if you're an international folk, sound off and let me know. I am still sending out my random acts of kindness. I just sent out another batch. I'm still missing you folks kind of out in the West. So if you live in Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, the Dakotas, Nebraska, I think I still don't have anybody from Oklahoma. So, and maybe, I think there's maybe like Rhode Island on the East Coast, DC. I think those are the only 2 I'm missing on the East Coast as far as US goes. Worldwide, I know I have Canada and the UK, Mexico, Brazil, the Philippines, India, Germany, Norway. I think I sent something to Sweden. That's pretty much it though. So, you know, if I didn't mention your country, oh, I've sent a couple things to Australia. I think that's it though. So if I didn't name the country that you're from, sign up for that random act of kindness so that I can add you to my little map because I'm trying to fill in my whole map. Oh, I think I've sent something to Hungary. Maybe Poland. So, yeah. Anybody out there from Liechtenstein? Ooh, I might have sent something to Spain too. But I don't think I've sent anything to Portugal or Greece or Italy. Have I sent something to France? Possibly. So, don't know if I sent anything to Scotland. Pretty sure I've sent something to Ireland. So, am I doing number 3? Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sitting here and I'm forgetting what number I'm doing. Okay. So where else do I have 3s? Right here, right there, and some right there. Okay. And then I can switch to another color. So, okay, my random acts of kindness, covered that. Oh, Home Chef. My husband and I signed up, a couple months ago for one of those, I don't know what you call them, meal ready, meal delivery, whatever things called. We signed up for Home Chef. And I'm torn. We're torn about what to do. It's expensive, not gonna lie. I thought it would save us on groceries. It really doesn't. Mostly because my husband is a grazer. He doesn't eat really at work. He eats his breakfast before he leaves in the morning, but he doesn't eat a lot because he works to be at work really early. And they work 10-hour days. But the kind of job that he has, they don't really take a break for lunch. They just kind of, okay, you're not doing something right now, you can eat your sandwich or whatever, and then, I mean, they don't go anywhere and take a break for lunch 99% of the time, that kind of thing. So he's hungry when he gets home, and then he will graze the rest of the evening. I am very much not that kind of person. I mean, I can, but I shouldn't graze like that, because I end up eating way too much because I just don't pay attention to what I'm eating. And because I'm home a lot of the time, I'm right near the refrigerator, and it's too easy to just do that. So I struggle sometimes to not eat at night when he's eating. So, anyway, Home Chef, he's loving it because my husband loves to cook. He is the cook in our house. I do not like to cook. I like to bake, but I do not like to cook. And so he's kind of always the one that does that. So he's loving having all these new recipes to try. However, what we're finding is, unless you kind of splurge for their, I don't know what they call them, premium meal kits or whatever, premium meals, it's a lot of the same stuff. And it's a lot of stuff that we, would have made ourselves, just a little fancier, or it has a fancier name. It's lettuce wraps or tacos or, steak and potatoes, or shepherd's pie. But, I mean, what we're finding is he's enjoying the recipes and kind of having something tell him, the steps and everything, but the meal we're ending up with is not actually that different than what we would have had if we just bought the stuff ourselves, which was kind of an eye-opener for me because growing up, we did not have a lot of variety in our diets. My folks were meat and potatoes people. My father did not like tomatoes, so if we had French fries, he did not have ketchup. He didn't put ketchup on his hamburgers. We didn't have a lot of Italian food, so not really any pasta, no pizza because he doesn't like tomato sauce. So when I was a kid, if Dad went on a trip for work or something, he was out of town on a business trip or something, then that was, ooh, we could have pizza, or ooh, we could have spaghetti, because we never ate those when he was at home. And when I was younger, until I was out of elementary school, we didn't have a lot of money. My mom stayed home with us kids, and her dad, my grandpa, was sick, so she took care of him. My dad worked full time, and then he was going to college at night. So until he finally graduated college, which was when I got out of elementary school, we just didn't have a lot of money. Mom made a bunch of our clothes. We shopped at Goodwill and thrift stores. And we just, we didn't have a lot of money to go grocery shopping. So we had pretty much the same meal every night. We had some kind of meatloaf, or pork, or chicken, or something, potatoes, mashed, au gratin potatoes. We didn't have French fries very often unless we were eating out. So we didn't have those very often at all. Baked potatoes, so usually baked or mashed. And then we had green beans, peas or carrots or peas or corn got rotated. And we always had baked beans. My dad loved pork and beans. I didn't like them because they have onions in them. He loved the onions. I can't stand onions. So I learned how to pick around the onions because I was made to eat them, even though I didn't like them. To eat the beans, I didn't have to eat the onions. They did force me to eat green beans, though, which I can't stand. So I got really good at pretending to eat green beans. And then I would flick them back in the bowl because I was always the last one at the table. And by then, my dad would have turned the TV on and was watching the news or whatever. So my mom would be watching the TV while she sat there at the table with me to make sure that I was eating. So while she wasn't looking, I would either feed them to the dog or throw them back in the serving bowl. She may have known, I don't know, and just let me get away with it, but either way, I didn't eat them, so I'm good. Anyway, so we just didn't have a lot of variety growing up, and all that to say that because we didn't have a lot of variety, I feel like as a grown-up, I don't know how to cook, because that's what I grew up with. I didn't grow up eating lots of Italian food or basically any kind of food that wasn't American. We didn't eat tacos. We didn't have any kind of Mexican food like that. We never had enchiladas or burritos, none of that, unless we went out to like a Mexican restaurant. We didn't have Italian food, spaghetti or lasagna or any of that kind of stuff. Certainly nothing, Asian. I mean, Chinese food was around, but when I was a kid, it wasn't something you could go get at a restaurant or at a drive-through. You had to go to a restaurant and sit down and eat it. And we certainly weren't doing that. So I just feel like I don't know what I like. And most of the time it ends up being something I don't like. So we're trying some of these foods, and I'm trying to be adventurous about it, but I don't like spicy food. And that kind of seems to be the default for a lot of things, from other cuisines, that it has to be spicy. So, yeah, the Home Chef thing hasn't turned out to be kind of what I thought it was going to be. So, my latest brilliant idea is to do like that lady in the movie they made, where I don't remember, is it Me and Julia and Me, something like that? I want to say it was Amy Adams in the movie, where she basically takes Julia Child's cookbook and she has a blog where she tries a new recipe. I don't know if it's every day, every week, whatever. Every day seems excessive, but it seems like that's what it was. I don't know. Anyway, so my thought was maybe that's what we need to do. Just get like a cookbook and then just start going through it and just make everything. Even if we think it's something we won't necessarily like a whole lot, which seems crazy. I'm going to spend money on food we're not going to eat. You know what I mean? But yeah. Also, we live in the middle of the country, so lots of things just aren't options for us. I mean, beef and corn things are really easily obtainable around where I am, but like there's really no getting a lot of fresh seafood around here without it costing an arm and a leg because you have to fly it in. And so there's just not a lot of, oops, where did the one go that I dropped? Oh, there it is. Pulled one off I didn't need to. Anyway, so I just don't feel like there's a lot of variety, but maybe that's just me. I've often wondered what it would be like to like trade places with somebody and just be like, here, you come cook at my house and I'll go cook at your house and we'll see, like, is it really different? Is the way I was raised really different? I mean, when I talk to people about it, they seem shocked, you know, like my mom was insane. But I mean, we didn't have a lot of money, so we ate a lot of box stuff because it was a cheap hamburger helper, mac and cheese, you know, that kind of stuff. We ate a lot of canned things because that was inexpensive. So a lot of canned vegetables versus fresh, that kind of thing. So, and we didn't, you know, we didn't have a garden or whatever. I mean, we probably could have. I think we had room, but she probably didn't have time taking care of all of us and my grandpa as well. So, yeah, I don't know. Am I crazy? Are we the only ones that grew up eating like that? And I mean, maybe it's just that I'm a picky eater because, I mean, my siblings grew up in the same household and they eat all kinds of things that I don't. Like, I hate green onion, or not green onions, green peppers. A lot of the stuff that we get recipes for calls for green peppers. I don't mind red and yellow peppers, although I don't really like those either. And that's from my childhood as well. Whenever, like on the weekends, my mom would make breakfast, she would make hash browns, but she would make those hash browns O'Brien that have the red and yellow peppers in them, which always tasted horrible. So I don't know if that's a leftover for me. But green peppers, for me, if anything touches a green pepper, I can taste it. It just is an overwhelming taste to me, and I don't like it. I don't like green beans for reasons. But you know, I know everybody has stuff they don't like. I mean, my siblings like green beans just fine. I just don't, and I think my hatred of them was intensified by the fact that I was made to eat them, even though I said I didn't like them. And it wasn't that I hadn't ever tried them. I have. I just don't like them. You know, that was my mom's way of forcing nutrients onto me. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like my siblings eat much more rounded kind of diets than I do. But I mean, maybe that's my perception as well. Who knows? Guys, I don't know. Am I crazy? I don't like Brussels sprouts. We tried those. Brussels sprouts taste bitter to me. Same reason I don't like arugula or greens in my salad. I don't mind romaine lettuce. I don't mind cabbage. I don't mind iceberg lettuce. I can't stand arugula and other things like it. They taste like dandelion weeds. And I've eaten those. That's how I know. And I know other people put dandelions in their salads. Nope. Around here, it's a weed. And you're never going to convince me otherwise. So I feel like I heard something go flying, but I don't see it anywhere. So maybe it was just the paper crinkling. Anyway, so we've put Home Chef on pause. Wow, that was a really long and rambling way just to say we put it on pause because just don't feel like we're getting our money's worth out of it. We may try it for a few more months because my husband is so cute when we get the recipes and he's so excited to try something new. But he has things he doesn't like as well. Like the recipe he's planning on making tonight calls for mushrooms. He cannot stand mushrooms. I don't really like them either. Mushrooms taste like dirt to me. So we're not planning on putting the mushrooms in the recipe. I don't know. I have a lot of hang-ups about food. Can you tell? I probably should look into that. Okay, I picked that one up that I dropped, but I still don't see one anywhere else that I dropped, so. Okay, how much time have I spent blathering on? Wow, lots. Okay. I'm going to finish up the 2s in this flower, and then I'm going to call that good, I think. Because I don't really have any more 2s until I get up there, and I need to move everything. And so, yeah, I'm just going to finish them in here. Anywho, yeah, that's where my life is at. I am excited, though. I do have some exciting things going on. My life is not all just griping about food. If you didn't check out yesterday's video, go check it out. I have finally unboxed my Heaven and Earth designs, and I've ordered the drills for one of them. I am starting to kit up the drills out of my spares for the second one. And I think for the third one, I'm going to buy the drills, but I'm going to buy them from a different drill company than the one I've already used, just so I can try another new to me company and compare. Now, the drills that I've already ordered are going to be resin. The diamond drill company that I've used before, where I bought like a lot of my Diana ABs, they use acrylic. So I think what I'm going to do is try a third drill company that I've not used before. I don't know if they sell acrylic or resin. Doesn't matter to me. I mean, resin would be nice, but if the drills are good quality, I'm not going to complain too much about them being resin. So I'm so excited that I have finally gotten to the point where, you know, at some point in the future, not anytime soon, but at some point in the future, I'm going to be able to actually work on my Heaven and Earth designs. They, I think, are probably going to stay downstairs in my room down there, what used to be my oldest bedroom. Just because they're so big and huge, I basically would have to take over my dining room table constantly. Not that I'm not already doing that anyway, but they're much too large for my drafting table. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to say I'm not going to do that, but my Pinson is currently taking up the dining room table, so who knows? Yeah, okay, so I didn't get as far as I wanted, but I am going to finish this one today. So I will have this one finished at some point. You might see it in some future video. We'll see when it's complete. Or I may just post pictures on Instagram and Facebook. So if you don't follow me on those, you can always find links below. I'm at diamondpaintinganonymous on Instagram. I post lots of pictures there. Not as many as I should. I'm trying to get better about that as well. And I have both a Facebook group and a Facebook page. So if you follow those, you can stay up to date with me there as well. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. I hope I didn't blather on too long about food. If I did, I apologize. So that's where I'm at. Again, thanks for joining me. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.